Hi there everyone and welcome to Tech Ravers. So the ASUS ROG Ally is finally here. The Ally is probably easiest explained as being a Steam Deck, but smaller, lighter, and it comes with Windows out of the box whether you want it or not. I have been playing around with it for a few days now, but in this video, most of my thoughts on this handheld PC will be my first impressions. I still want to play around with it some more before I can go more in depth. But let me tell you this straight away, this has some serious power under the hood and it will be able to play games that the Steam Deck can only dream about. However, there are also things that the Steam Deck does better. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's roll the intro. Okay, so here we go. The ROG Ally definitely has a more gamer-ish design than its sibling the Steam Deck. From the design only, I'd say the target is for a younger audience, though the price tag does not feel childish. In Sweden I had to pay closer to $900 for it. In the hand it feels lighter and a bit more plastic than the Steam Deck. And to be 100% honest, it doesn't make a superb first impression to me. However, that can also be that I had higher expectations on this than I had on the Steam Deck, for example. The Steam Deck made a sudden and unexpected entrance and came out of the blue, while the Ally has benefited from other handheld PCs that have paved the way for handheld gaming to become a commonplace in households. And I can't really say what it is, but I think it might be that it's sharper in the edges than the Steam Deck. However, it can be that I'm nitpicking here, and that I, after a few weeks, have learned to love the feel of the Ally in my hands as well. So don't make too much out of what I'm saying here. What I can say that won't change, however, is that you have more to hold on to on the Steam Deck. So if you have really big hands, the Steam Deck will probably suit you better in terms of comfort. And speaking of comfort, I can't really understand the design of these back buttons. They feel so weird to me. I don't know about you, but these back buttons are something I pretty seldom use, but I still appreciate to have them when I need to map something in Emulation, for instance. But on the Ally they feel a bit weird, as if they don't follow the overall design of the rest of the handheld. I think I would prefer if they were just flat buttons on the back that didn't stick out so much. The back, by the way, has a very ROG-ish or gamerish design, as I mentioned earlier, with these diagonal cuts that will appeal to some users, while some users won't like it. I don't really have an opinion. I guess it's okay considering what type of gadget this handheld is marketed as. And for some reason it also have these ugly transparent stickers pasted over that I will probably just remove later. And compared side by side to the Steam Deck, you can probably tell, even though I have the transparent backplate from JSAW on, that it has a slightly more mature look than the Ally. Next to each other we can see just how much bigger the Steam Deck is, and even though the Ally is not exactly a pocketable handheld, it actually looks pretty slim next to its bigger sibling. And the smaller size hopefully also mean a lighter handheld, and as you can see here, the Ally weighs in at just 615 grams, compared to the Steam Deck, which weighs about 100 grams more. And while this may seem a little, for long play sessions it could mean a lot. And while we're at it, the Switch Lite weighs more than half that much. Alright, so let's check out the top of the Ally. This is where we find all our IOs, and starting with the headphone jack on the left. I know some of you prefer that. Myself, I haven't used anything but wireless headphones for the past 10 years. But hey, don't let me judge your life full of cords. Next to that we have a micro SD slot, which is nice if you want to expand the Ally's 512GB of internal storage. I have a 1GB card in my Ally, but I will probably upgrade the internal SSD in the future as well, just for the sake of it. Next is the XG Mobile PCIe port, where you can actually attach an external GPU from ASUS. What that means is that you can have even more graphical power in your Ally and extend the lifespan of your Ally with a substantial amount. However, these GPUs are not cheap, and some, depending on the GPU you want, could cost you twice the amount of what the Ally actually costs. Next to that port we have the USB-C for charging and file transferring, and next to that we have volume rockers, and next to the volume buttons we have LED indicators to let you know whether you are powered on, if you need to charge, and a few other things. Lastly we have the power button, which has a built-in fingerprint reader for login and such things as well. Oh, and we also have fan vents that will blow hot air out from the handheld. The shoulder buttons feel nice and comfortable to use, but I don't like the glossy design. They do have some textured grip on them though, which honestly don't do much, but at least now you know. The analog triggers have good travel to them though, which is always nice to see, and the overall feel of them are that they actually feel more premium than the ones on Steam Deck, as they need a bit more pressure to be used. Something I thought I was gonna hate was the D-pad, but now that I have been using it for a while, I actually kind of like it. But for the love of God, can we please stop with the glossy plastic design? I know it's subjective, but glossy looks cheap, and that's not an experience I want from my $900 handheld. The face buttons are big, which I do like, and even though they are glossy, at least they're not black. And I actually like the color mix going from blue to pink to purple. The buttons are slightly easier to press down than on a Steam Deck, which might add a bit flimsy touch to the experience, but that's me nitpicking again. The face buttons are 10mm across on the Ally, while being 8.5 mm on the Steam Deck. The thumbsticks are also even so slightly bigger at 16.5mm on the Ally compared to 15.5 on the Steam Deck. Using the ROG Ally is like using any type of Windows-based PCs, and that's for better or worse. Of course it's great, since most of us out there have used Windows before and we know how to tackle many of the problems and bugs that we might encounter when using the device. And if we don't know ourselves, chances are that we know someone who can help us. However, the downside of Windows is the same as with any other Windows-based PCs as well. Countless minutes updating firmwares, uninstalling softwares that we don't need, restarting the system because why not, etc, etc, etc. So let me just put this out there straight away. Giving a new ROG Ally to someone, expecting them to be able to start gaming within minutes as on the Steam Deck is just not gonna happen. Just to start this handheld and set up Windows for the first time took me about an hour, and I consider myself to be slightly above average when it comes to tinkering with these devices. And with that being said, as someone who likes tinkering even more than actual gaming, I actually don't have a problem with it being a bit messy to set up. And once you have updated everything and uninstalled all the stupid software that you don't need, I mean, come on. The experience is actually very nice. From the command center button on the left we can get this overlay no matter what we're doing or playing on the handheld. From here we can set the TDP, swap resolution, refresh rates and more. And from the armory crate button on the right we can set a bunch of other settings and even swap out what we should be able to change from the command center. The armory crate also functions as a front end to start all our games and softwares should we want that. But you could also choose to start them from the desktop as on any other Windows PC as well. But what about gaming? Well, gaming on the ROG Ally has been an absolutely amazing experience, there's no denying there. It should be said that I mostly played games at 15 and 25 TDP and even 30 TDP with the charger plugged in. And I know that the Steam Deck has proven to deliver better performance at 10 TDP, and the magicians at Valve should be applauded for that. However, in higher TDP, ASUS deserves a pat on the back because I have never ever had the pleasure of gaming on something so powerful in a portable format like this. And you'll have to excuse the badly captured footage here, but basically any game I have tried to game on the ROG Ally has just worked flawlessly straight out of the box. As a matter of fact, games that I couldn't even get to start on my Steam Deck have been running great at high settings and the TDP set to 15 watts in most cases. But what really made my jaw drop is how well the ROG Ally emulates older systems, and not so extremely old systems as well, like the PlayStation 3, here with Metal Gear Solid 4 running on it. This game would flicker and instantly crash when trying to play it on my Steam Deck, and even some high-end desktop PCs can have a hard time trying to run it. Also, my Steam Deck was on the verge of melting, at least listening to the fans on it when trying to emulate PS3 games. And while the Ally also struggles, the fans are kept silent. I'm really looking forward to testing more emulation on the ROG Ally, and I will of course dedicate a whole video, if not several, to emulation on this device. So yeah, that's been it for my first look at the ASUS ROG Ally. I'm not gonna go into detail here, that will be something for upcoming videos. And I will of course check out all different kinds of tweaks, modifications, accessories, and even make Steam Deck comparison videos in the future. So now would be an incredible idea to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that, and make sure to hit that stupid bell as well while you're at it so you don't miss any upcoming content. If you liked this video, please show it by giving it a like, and since I love to read comments from you, don't forget to let me know if there's something special that you would like to see tested on the ROG Ally in the future. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll be catching you in the next one. TechCravers out.